I'm joined by the Chief Executive of the Railway Industry Association, Daren Caplan. Daren, great to see you. Thanks for coming in and talking to me. The rail industry covers a broad range of products and services, doesn't it? Who do you actually represent?
We've got a wide range of members. We've got 220 in total, ranging from big multinationals down to SMEs and very small entrants into the sector. 60% of our membership is SMEs, and so that's very important to us. And we cover the full range of rail supply services. So whether it's to do with track, train, signalling, contractors, consultancy, engineering businesses, design businesses, rolling stock leasing companies, protective equipment businesses, a whole range of areas that we cover. And we're also introducing a new membership level to bring even more people into RIA. For the smallest companies who have less than £1 million of rail turnover, we're halving the cost of membership for them, so they can come and be full members with RIA, and we benefit from the innovation and skills and experiences they bring in too.
What would you see as the main issues then, with such a broad range of people that you look after? What are the main issues, the common themes?
Well, the big issue in rail is that passenger numbers have doubled in the last 20-25 years. Freight's increased by 80%, but it's all been on the same network, so capacity is the really big issue. So the main issues our members deal with is how can we increase capacity on the existing network. So funding is a major issue, investment in the sector, in the system, how do we get money in for renewals, enhancements to the sector. And whilst we've had a very good settlement, we have 5-year control periods, the next one starts next year. The next settlement is £48 billion, it's a really good settlement. The problem for us is what we call boom and bust, where rail investment goes up at the start of a control period, and then it goes down at the end, and you have a hiatus between control periods. And that means the cost of renewing or enhancing the rail network goes up by up to 30%, and teams disband because they can't stay around long enough for when the next boom comes. SMEs can go out of business. You can't invest in plant and machinery. So whilst the amount of money is not the controversial issue, the issue is smoothing the investment pipeline. So it's a really big issue for our members. We've had some good wins on that though recently. So last autumn, the government brought forward £200 million extra from CP6 into CP5 for renewals in the network. And the Transport Select Committee, the government select committee looking at transport issues, has recommended that the government works with RIA to smooth out boom and bust. And the government accepted that recommendation. So that's a good news story as far as we're concerned. We are making progress on eradicating boom and bust. There are other issues. There's an issue around enhancements. So the way that rail is funded for separate projects used to be in a pipeline. They're now taking it out and it's done separately. But we haven't got visibility of schemes that are coming up. So we say to the government, we need more visibility of enhancement schemes in the future, so our members can plan for it. They can put their teams together and they can put it in the pipeline. So there's funding issues. There's lots of other issues as well. Brexit is an issue for us. Decarbonising the railway is an issue for us. Major projects. So we clearly support things like HS2, Crossrail, that enhances capacity. But what about Crossrail 2? What about Northern Powerhouse Rail? What about East-West Rail? These are all schemes that are really important to enhancing the capacity of the network, and they help address that first issue that I mentioned to you. So lots on our plate.
You can't shy away from the fact that the rail industry frequently in the headlines, a great deal of controversy attached to almost everything that you're involved in.
Yeah, that's very true. And if you look at the summer of 2018, you've had the timetabling review that's been very controversial. You've had an announcement of a rail review that's going to take a year to do under Keith Williams. Our view is that RIA will input into that review, but let's still have business as normal in that period. It'd be a terrible thing to happen if during the course of that review the rail network doesn't run the way we think it should run and we can't build a world-class railway. But railways fundamentally are in a good position. Just this year we commissioned a report from Oxford Economics working with some of our rail members, and it showed that the rail industry is much larger than previously thought. So previous figures showed that there were 240,000 jobs in rail. It's actually 600,000 jobs. The previous figures showed £10 billion GVA. The current figures show £34.6 billion GVA. As you can see, I know my figures when it comes to this.
You certainly do.
And for every pound spent on the rail network, it generates £2.20 in the wider economy in terms of income. So we're not just a big sector for UK PLC, or a big sector in our own right. We're a big sector for UK PLC more widely as well. So it's a really good news story as far as we're concerned.
Well, you've got lots of figures to back you up. You've also got lots of challenges ahead, with the government wanting to decarbonise the rail network by 2040. What's RIA's perspective on that? Is it achievable?
Well, our view is we agree with the government that we need to decarbonise the network by 2040. We agree with what Joe Johnson said. But to do that, you have to have a range of powering trains. So we support hybrid trains, whether it's bi-mode or tri-mode or new technology like hydrogen. But you do need electrification as well. And the government hasn't been so positive about electrification in recent months and years. So we need to make the case that electrification is affordable, that it can be delivered by our members, but the government's got to buy into that.
And in the background, of course, we've got the clock ticking for Brexit. How is that going to impact the rail network?
We see three main challenges and an opportunity. So the three challenges are standards. Will we have harmonised standards or not? Will we manufacture to one standard or not? Access to a skilled workforce is really important to us. So in rail, nationally, 20% of the rail network, it's people from the wider EU work on that network. South of Derby, it's actually almost 50%. It's 46%. What that means is if after Brexit, when people leave projects, if they're not replaced, there's going to be a shortfall. And then there's the issue of frictionless trade. So if we have issues around tariff barriers or non-tariff barriers, if we have more cost or more complexity or more administrative burdens because of Brexit, that's something that's going to be difficult for our members to deal with. So clearly we're keeping an eye on those challenges. The opportunity are the trade deals and exports. We should be doing this anyway. We believe in global Britain. We should be selling around the world. And Brexit should be the spur for us to go and for rail to sell its wares overseas, its products and services.
Finally, picking up on that last point that you made about promoting the rail industry at RIA, what more actually can you do to do it?
Well, it's really important we do promote it. We promote it to policymakers via positive campaigns. So, for example, one of the things we've been doing recently is what we call the RIA Rail Fellowship Programme, and that introduces politicians from Westminster and around the country to suppliers, and it shows what our supplier members are doing on innovation, on skills, on exports, and it brings the positive story to life for policymakers making policy for rail going forward. We do the exports work, so we're often overseas. We're Intertrans in Berlin, Middle East conferences. We've got Rail Solutions Asia, we've got Traco in Poland, we've got Osrail in Australia. Lots of work we do overseas to promote UK PLC and the rail sector and to promote our members' interests. And we're also trying to promote a mixed workforce and a younger workforce. So just recently, working with one or two other bodies, we did what's called the +1 rail reception. And what that meant was if you're over the age of 30, you had to bring a +1 under the age of 30 for your entrance. And we did this event. It was very well attended. It was very vibrant. And that's the kind of thing we're doing. And I guess finally, the other way we promote it is via channels like this. So ITM Productions and world-class railways and making UK Rail a world-class system, promoting it via these channels are very important to us too.
Well, you're a very busy man. Thank you for sparing your time to come and talk to me today. Great to see you. Thank you, Daren.